to your Wednesday edition of Afternoon Express Mzansi. I'm Palisa Tembe, and today we're taking an in-depth look at what diabetes is, how it affects the body, and how to manage the condition. We kick off with popular singer Holly Ray to chat about her journey with diabetes. We learn important details from Dr. Zime Shabalala, and then we're going to keep our bodies fit with a burner of a workout from star trainer Anva Alexander. But before we get into it, we here at Afternoon Express are a family, and today we're celebrating the birthday of Tembiso Brian Kumalo. Now, Brian has been a part of the family for years, and you know, Brian's also been holding down the logistics here on Afternoon Express during the lockdown. So happy birthday, my brrr, as I like to call you. He's going to be so upset with me that I said my brrr on television, but we love you here on Afternoon Express, and happy birthday. Now, most of us during lockdown, we wanted to set goals for ourselves for a healthier life, you know. So we've asked you on social media, have you been achieving the goals that you've set out? I wonder, ladies, in the kitchen, how are you holding down your lockdown goals?
Well, Palisa, over here we're making sure we're sticking with the theme, and we've also got a delicious quinoa salad that is actually perfect if you're fighting diabetes.
Yes, exactly, and also for colds.
Yeah.
I love the dark greens in there. It's all fresh and delicious. And I'm going to teach you people how to make beautiful paneer. It's an Indian cheese, easy to make at home. So please stay with us.
Get the recipe details on the website and do join in. Let's cook along today.
Holly Ray's music video for Deeper is close to hitting 7 million views, but sharing her music is only a part of the journey. It's also about meeting fans and taking hands with them before gigs wherever possible. She performed in over 150 shows in 2019, even playing a slot in the UK. This year has been a little different though. She joins me now, however, to let us in on how she's adjusted to this new normal. Hey Holly girl, lovely to see you, Siswam. How are you?
So good to see you. I'm as good as I can be during this time, I think.
Yeah. Well, I've been keeping a very close eye on your social media, and you seem to be taking lockdown by storm. Please, may you just tell us briefly what you've been getting up to during lockdown and how you've adapted to the new normal?
Well, so much. I think like all artists, you know, our industry has been disrupted so much. Our industry really relies on contact and large groups of people to survive, you know. So just been taking this time to learn more about how do you connect with your fans online, doing a lot of online streaming, doing some online performances and shows to connect with my fans. But I've also just been tapping into the other things I love to do, like baking and cooking and just spending time with my family, because I kind of had 2 years of just being on the road and working so unbelievably hard. And now I'm able to I've had this time to step back, take a breather, and just remember what's important and what I love in my life.
I've been enjoying, like the rest of South Africa, seeing you enjoying this time with your family. Those videos and the YouTube tutorials with your little sister and your grandmother whipping it up in the kitchen, those make my heart melt. Now, why baking? It seems like when there's a pandemic, everyone gets their baking aprons on. And how much fun have you had with that?
It's been so much fun. My family loves to cook. Like, we're big cooks, and my family actually owns a bakery. So we're very, very big into baking. And, you know, it kind of started, Mimi was so desperate to do something, and I was looking for something to do with my little sister. And because she loves to bake, I love to bake, we thought, let's do it. And then she was like, why don't we video record it so other people can also make it? And I was like, that's such a good idea. Yeah. So it was actually her idea to start making the little baking tutorials, and it's just been the best thing. It's been so much fun to do. We can't stop laughing doing them.
Yeah, I'm seeing that generational passing the baton here, or rather should I say whisk. Handing over the whisk from generation to generation. That's been so touching to see. Now, Holly, you've also opened up recently about your journey with type 1 diabetes. So before we get into the technicality of how your life has changed and how you've adapted to this, but is your baking diabetic friendly?
Not all of it, because, you know, I have followers and fans that aren't diabetic, so trying to appeal to them as well. And I think the thing about diabetes is diabetes doesn't mean you can't have anything nice. It just means you watch it, you know. So some of the stuff is, some of it isn't. It's a combination of a variety of things.
Okay, so Holly, you've touched on something here that on Afternoon Express, a lot of our experts and nutritionists have said that during this time, it's all about balance. You know, you can treat yourself, enjoy, but you also need to nourish your body. And, you know, as much as you cheat, you also need to do good here. So how have you been balancing it with type 1 diabetes? And for everyone who is unfamiliar with the condition, how has your journey with it been?
So during lockdown, I've just been trying to be very, very cautious, obviously taking all the necessary sort of precautions and extra because of the fact that I have a pre-existing condition. Again, also just trying to eat really healthy, trying to make sure that my diet is balanced, trying to take a lot of supplements to strengthen my immune system and eat foods that strengthen my immune system as well. And, you know, it's been such a scary time for anyone living with a pre-existing condition because we are such a high risk in relation to coronavirus. So I think it's very scary, and the journey with this illness is scary because it's something you live with every day. A lot of people think that with diabetes, you take your insulin, you take your medication, and then you're fine. No, diabetes is a balancing act. Every single day, you're testing, you're injecting, or you're taking medication, then you're eating, and you're trying to figure out how much medication for what you're eating. So it's always like trying to figure out what's going on in your life, and stress affects you. Everything affects that. So it really is a balancing act. And I think only now that I'm an adult and I'm starting to come to terms with who I am as a person, am I coming to terms with my diabetes and accepting this part of who I am, even though I've been a diabetic for such a long time.
Is this the revolution that came and stirred you up to go on social media and share your journey with everyone? You know, I think it's an age thing and a maturity thing that now you know you have to educate everyone else about it.
100%. I think, you know, a lot of type 1 diabetics become diabetic quite early in their life, and they're still trying to navigate who they are and what's going on. And now you throw this additional thing at them, and they're having to, you know, figure out how this fits into their world. Am I going to be an other because of this? And unfortunately, that is often the case with kids with diabetes and any sort of illness. So I think now becoming a woman and finding out who I am and my place in society, it's really made me realize that I have a responsibility, not just to myself, but to other people, to own my truth, own my story, no matter how scary it is, no matter what backlash you face, because by empowering yourself, often you empower other people who need to hear your voice.
Yeah. And empowering us also has to do with educating us. So I just quickly want to break down some of the terms that we might not be familiar with. You have a measuring kind of tool that you need to keep a close eye on, CGM. What is CGM? Why is it so important amidst the pandemic?
So CGM is a constant glucose monitoring system. And basically what it is if you know anything about diabetes, you know that diabetics prick their finger before they eat, after they eat, test what it is, and then decide how much insulin they're going to take for that. Basically, a CGM takes that away. It's a little sensor that is inserted into your tummy, and it sends your sugar readings to your cell phone 24/7. So you get a sugar reading every 5 minutes. So I get my sugar readings on my phone, and what that means is you're having 24-hour surveillance. You're not unsure in between what's happening. It helps you make decisions about your insulin and your food. You can see when it's starting to go up because you can see the graph. You can see when it's starting to go down, which means you can kind of preempt any highs or lows, and you can correct it before it happens. So it means diabetics get to stay in that safe zone of diabetes, you know, which helps you keep healthy. My family also connects to it. My manager can connect to it. So they all know what's going on all the time with me and are able to assist me with that.
And it also seems like a whole bunch of teamwork and team effort here is needed. People holding you accountable, whether it's mom, dad, little sister, granny, or even your manager. So how do you deal with that pressure?
You know what? It actually takes a lot of the pressure off, I find. Because, you know, when you feel like people around you know what's going on, you're not fighting this battle by yourself. Your sugar's going high, and people can help you solve the problem. You know, if you need something to eat, they can see and they can get it for you without you trying to find a way to communicate it. Or, you know, sometimes I'll be in a meeting and I don't want to interrupt the meeting, but I need to get sugar or I need something, and my manager can just go, oh, okay, she needs this, let me sort it out. It just makes my life so much easier, and it takes a lot of the stress off my shoulders. So it's been an incredible decision for me to go onto this.
A saving grace, Holly. I just want to say it's been a saving grace. Thank you so much for also working so hard to making sure that other people who also struggle with the same diabetes are helped as well, whether they can afford it or not. Holly, when you are in front of our screens, whether it's our cell phone screens or our TV screens in your music videos, you're always radiating such positivity, such love and light. It's Youth Month, so this is your blessing to all the youths in South Africa, something for us to enjoy. We appreciate you, Holly.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for wearing your heart on the line and sharing your journey with type 1 diabetes. We are with you on this journey, also holding you accountable. And I'm sure so many South Africans right now are flocking to your social media because they're going to need some more answers from you. Again, South Africa, let's keep the conversation going on our social media platforms. If you are struggling with diabetes or any other illness, you want support, you want people to hear you and seek the help that you need, Afternoon Express has all the answers, but just make sure you use that hashtag Afternoon Express.
I just love Holly. She is just so inspirational. But what I like about her is her balancing act. She says it's a balancing act. And that sister of hers, that little sister, she must come and bake with us.
She must. She looks so cute.
Yes.
She's actually making me realize that I should have actually stuck to my goals as well. I hope, Palisa, the viewers are more accountable than I've been.
I didn't know you wanted to be a master baker, but you know what, Andele, I agree. Holly's little sister has a place for her. We have a place for her in our kitchen here on Afternoon Express. But, you know, going back to social media, we have been asking everyone the goals that you had up your sleeve before lockdown, where about are we at, you know? So we're going to head straight over here to Charity. Charity just has to start off by saying, no, the lockdown and the whole pandemic situation dampened my spirits. But since we're halfway through the year, I'm on a mission to accomplishing my goals. Charity, sis, I agree with you, honey. Let's keep each other accountable. We also have Kiki here, and Kiki says, I tried, but I did achieve something. I want to find out what that thing is, Kiki. You know, you've already started sharing with us, so continue sharing with us on social media as we keep holding each other accountable to those goals. Now, our youth is the time in life when we hustle to establish ourselves, which may be a bit tougher in the current climate. So coming up, we learn from FNB how we can start saving and plan for the future. Let's be real, adulting is hard. And given the tough economic climate, the youth in particular are often left to hustle and do the absolute most just to make ends meet. But one way we can begin saving and planning for our future is with tax-free savings accounts. Here to tell us all about it is Nicholas Reamer, the investment education head from FNB Wealth and Investments. Welcome to The Loft, Nicholas.
Hi, Vanessa. No, thank you so much for having me.
What exactly is a tax-free savings account and what are the benefits of having one?
So a tax-free savings account is something that was introduced by Treasury in 2015 as a long-term saving and investment vehicle. South Africans are seen as a nation of spenders, so I think it's trying to shift that mindset away from spending to saving and investing, especially within our younger population. If we think about investing and saving in general, if we're investing in shares, you're obviously going to be getting returns in the form of dividends and then capital gains when you sell those shares. Both of those forms attract a dividends tax and capital gains tax, and that would obviously be held back and paid over to SARS when realizing your profits on that investment. From a savings side as well, you know, you're giving your money to the bank, you're getting savings returns with regards to the interest rates provided. But again, at the end of the year, you're going to have to pay tax over to SARS. So a tax-free savings account is something that's been set up so that you can both invest and save through it and pay absolutely no tax. So it does increase your returns. One thing to keep in mind is that there are thresholds, and 36,000 Rand a year is the maximum that you can contribute to a tax-free savings account, and 500,000 Rand in total in terms of lifetime capital contributions. When saving through a tax-free savings account, there are different vehicles that you can choose from. FNB offers a cash money deposit that you can have your capital guaranteed and then earn interest on those returns. And if you want to invest through a tax-free savings account, you can invest in shares directly, unit trusts, and ETFs.
Is there a general rule of thumb on how much of our salaries should go into investing?
So I think there's no specific rule of thumb, but I think what I would suggest is that for everyone to go and make a cash or a budget around how much money you're receiving in terms of your sources of income, and then working out all of your expenses then on a monthly basis. When you draw up this cash budget, I think the first thing that you'll identify is unnecessary expenses that might be sneaking in there. You know, people have a shock when they go and compare that to what they think they're saving at the end of each month. But when you go and look at the coffees that you're spending on each day, things like that, you can obviously pull back. And then once you've done your cash budget, that'll leave you with the amount of money that's then left as a surplus. From here, you've now got a clear understanding with regards to how much money you have to save and invest. Secondly, I think in terms of identifying your long-term goals, you need to have an outlook with regards to what are the objectives you're trying to achieve with regards to saving and investing. So when you pair this with regards to your budget in terms of your long-term goals, you'll then have a very clear understanding with regards to how much you should be investing and saving, and then what type of investments are going to suit your right risk profile and outlook and goal.
If someone is wanting to be financially free when they're older, will a tax-free savings account help them as a building block in the long run?
I think definitely. So for me, in terms of looking at being financially free, I think that comes down to when are you able to eliminate all forms of debt as an individual within South Africa. So most young working people, you're going to take out a bond, you're going to have debt with regards to purchasing your first house, you might need to finance your car. So when you take out or when you invest and save through a tax-free savings vehicle, it's obviously supposed to be a long-term savings vehicle. So we're ultimately looking at it between 10, 15, 20 years of consistent contributions with regards to saving and investing in it. If you look at contributing 36,000 Rand a year into a standard growth fund, you know, that type of balance could yield almost R1 million in returns in terms of what your fund's going to be. That amount can then be used to free up debt. And once an individual is free of debt and they owe the bank no more money, that makes them very, very flexible from a financial point of view. And you can then pursue anything you want to in life. So I think starting off on that foundation with a tax-free savings account is something that every South African should take advantage of, because later on down the line, you'll have multiple options now with regards to what to do with that money and become financially free.
As it is Youth Month, how can we engage our young people that are currently working to start reviewing their finances and beginning to identify investment goals and opportunities?
So from my side, I obviously focus on the investor education side of F&B. So I think in the last 6 months especially, there's been a dramatic amount of work that's been done with F&B to post all kinds of educational articles from beginning in terms of how to get into investing to the advanced side and what different assets you can invest in to hedge yourself against risks like the market pullback we see now due to COVID-19. So I think the excuse of not knowing investments or not knowing how to save is now done with, because there's so much information and education out there that you can access directly off the F&B app and website. You can go and listen to podcasts, you can go and listen to videos and watch videos and educate yourself with regards to what type of goals you need to set yourself and how you're then going to go about achieving it. One thing that the young working class need to understand is that if you are not growing your money and your savings at a higher rate than inflation, you're essentially losing value in terms of your money working backwards then each year. All we have to do is look at what a Coke cost 10 years ago to see how much the cost of living has increased. So when you are young and working and looking to save for your long-term goals in retirement, you need to make sure that your returns and your savings are constantly beating the rate of inflation.
Where can people go should they want more information on tax-free savings accounts?
So you can go and look straight through the F&B website, so log on to the F&B website or the F&B app, and then you can click tax-free savings accounts and it'll give you all the information around that. If you want to explore anything around the investment side, unit trusts, ETFs, and the different investment vehicles that you can invest through a tax-free savings account, all of the information is there as well as being able to go onto F&B TV and listen to a whole range of podcasts of different savings and investing vehicles.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. I'm sure all of us hustlers out there, all of us go-getters that are doing the most are now clued up on this incredible facility that F&B has put in place.
Thank you so much, Felisa.
Cheers, Nicholas.
Cheers, Felisa.
Saving is a habit, and the sooner you start, the better. For more information on F&B's tax-free savings account, you can visit the F&B app or their website at fnb.co.za.
We can help you bank safely from the comfort of your home. Download the F&B app. F&B, how can we help you?
You know, Anal, I absolutely love how today's episode is keeping us accountable, whether it's health goals or money goals. I'm so glad that we're getting the content that we're getting today. Have you at least been keeping to your saving goals, perhaps?
Yes, you know how I've saved money during lockdown? I realized I spend too much on restaurants. I spend too much to go to the shops. I've just drawn cash now, so I only buy in cash, not with a card. Okay. So if I don't have cash in my pocket, I don't buy it. You know when you go to the shops and you're all hungry and you just buy gooi in. No. It's not cash or nothing. Pali, do you believe cash is king?
That is a brilliant tip, Anele. I love that. Cash is king. Okay, yeah. I see how you're rolling. Talking about holding each other accountable, guys. After talking to Nicholas, I have now set myself new financial goals. So everybody at home, if you have financial goals now that you just sparked that idea and you want to write it down and hold yourself accountable, let's keep it together, you know? Let's be there for each other. So on social media, keeping on the same vein, we have people saying, absolutely, I have been achieving my goals. Ulumka clearly must be a pupil because she used the hashtag Afternoon Express and says, yes, I have been achieving my goals. I've set out like studying hard. That's what I have been doing, studying hard, knowing that when schools open up, I know more about a certain subject. That sounds beautiful, Lumka. Let's keep on the good work and studying hard. Now, with the reality of COVID-19, we need to be educated about what that means for people living with pre-existing conditions. Coming up, we learn from Dr. Zime Shabalala how to better prepare against infection as a diabetic. Looking forward to talking to her. As a caregiver for someone with diabetes or a diabetic yourself, you might be wondering if COVID-19 poses an extra threat to your health. Joining us to chat more about how better to prepare yourselves to avoid contracting the virus as a diabetic is Dr. Zime Shabalala, a medical doctor. Welcome to the Loft, Doc.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
I'm very excited to touch base with you, looking gorgeous, but what I want to pick is your brain about all things diabetes. We've got our incredible Miss Holly Ray, who loudly and proudly has come out as a type 1 diabetic. But for some people who are unfamiliar with diabetes, let's start off by explaining what diabetes is, you know, for some of us who are hearing about it for the first time.
So diabetes, a perfect way to explain it is that it's a chronic disease that affects the way that we utilize food. So in other words, if you're diabetic, you're not able to use food correctly, which results in high blood sugar levels. So if I can break it down in an easy way, most of the time when we eat food, it gets broken down into this simple sugar that we call glucose. And the sugar will be found in your blood, and it needs to find a way to get into your body cells to give you energy. So you need a hormone called insulin, which will help you get that sugar into your body cells, and that will give you energy. So if you have diabetes, you're not making enough insulin, or the insulin you are making isn't really efficient enough, causing you to have those high blood sugar levels.
Okay, so then how do I know I have diabetes? What are the common symptoms and common signs?
Yeah, so with diabetes, there are these well-known symptoms that you associate with them. So for example, if you have an increased need to go to the bathroom, to pee more often or urinate more often, if you have an extreme amount of thirst, if you're constantly hungry, if you're constantly feeling tired as well, if you have unexplained sort of weight loss or blurred vision, that can sometimes suggest that you might have diabetes. But the only way that you can actually know that you have diabetes is if you go to your healthcare provider and they'll be able to do one or more tests where they look for high blood sugar or high sugar in your urine as well.
Okay, Doc, because you got me shook there for a second. We don't need any Google doctors saying, I've got that, maybe I've got diabetes. No, go see a medical professional, because right now I feel triggered.
No, that's fine. No. I eat all the time as well. So it doesn't mean just because you have one of those symptoms, you have diabetes. So just look for all of those and then go to your healthcare provider and test to confirm it.
Okay, perfect. Now let's take this conversation a step further, Doc. Are people with diabetes more likely to get COVID-19?
So what we've seen with this pandemic is that people with pre-existing health conditions like diabetes, they're more likely to get a severe illness if they are infected with COVID-19. But there's no data or anything that tells us that if you have diabetes, you're more likely to actually get COVID-19.
So then, Doctor, do people with diabetes have a higher chance of experiencing serious complications from COVID-19?
Yeah. So like mentioned before, if you have a pre-existing illness like diabetes, what we've seen is that you're more susceptible to a severe complication or severe illness if you have COVID-19. But that's true, especially if your condition is not well controlled or not well managed. So if you have diabetes and it's not well controlled or not well managed, you are at risk of getting severe complications if you have COVID-19. What's important to remember is that you should be encouraged to have an active role and want to take control of your management. So if you're diabetic, try and make sure that you're well controlled in terms of adhering to your chronic medication and listening to exactly what your doctor tells you.
Speaking about managing this and keeping a close eye on it, should people with diabetes test their blood glucose more regularly during the COVID-19 pandemic?
So this is a very complex question. And the reason why is if you're testing your blood sugar levels, it will always depend on the type of diabetes you have, what medication you're on, and different factors or things that you're doing in every day. So if you're exercising more, if you're stressed, or you have infection. So what I would recommend is that if you have diabetes, if you're generally well and you don't have the potential symptoms for COVID-19, just stick to your regular sort of testing schedule. But of course, as soon as you experience those symptoms, dry cough, fever, loss of taste, loss of smell, then you can actually test your blood glucose and see what it is. If, of course, you're infected with COVID-19, that's totally different because you will be advised by your healthcare provider to test more regularly. So I would say it depends, but at this time, if you're well, just stick to your normal schedule. If you have COVID, I'm sure you already know that you have to test more regularly.
Aige, we surely heard doctor's orders there quite loudly. So what do you need to know about COVID-19 if you have diabetes? And what are some of the practical tips to avoid infection for diabetics?
Yeah, so I think if you're diabetic, the most important thing for you to know is that you just need to focus on being actively sort of managing your health and making sure that you control your diabetes by sticking to your chronic medication. Sticking to those lifestyle sort of changes you always advise to do, so eating healthy, exercising as well. If your diabetes is not controlled, it means that you've got high blood sugar levels. And with that, you're more likely to get diabetic, like health problems. And the issue with that is that it can make you fighting COVID, if you actually get it, a lot harder in comparison to everyone else. So I would say more practical tips to follow, just stay safe. So stay at home as much as possible, follow those hand hygiene rules, wash your hands religiously. And lastly, just make sure that you are practicing social distancing as much as possible. So limit that contact that you have with other people because you know you have a pre-existing sort of health condition. So you want to stay as safe as possible.
Yeah. Doctor, does age play a factor in terms of who can get diabetes?
So this is a very complex question because you get different types of diabetes. So you get type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes. You also get what's called gestational diabetes, which just means diabetes during pregnancy. So age isn't really a factor because if you have type 1 diabetes, like Holly Ray, for example, she developed it when she was younger. And type 2 diabetes, you usually develop that when you're a lot older. So age isn't a factor as to whether or not you can get diabetes. But what you need to focus on is the type of diabetes and whether you're at risk of developing it. So if you have a family history of type 2 diabetes, if you're more overweight, if you're not as physically active as you could be, you could be at risk of type 2 diabetes, for example. So I think it's important that you just look at yourself and overall your health context, and there you can actually see whether or not you're at risk of developing diabetes.
Thank you so much for debunking the myths and things that we might have misunderstood when it comes to all things diabetes, whether you are type 1 or type 2, or wherever you are in your health journey. It seems like the rules remain the same. We have to live a balanced lifestyle, exercise, make sure to take care of our nutrition, and take care of ourselves so that we can take care of those we love. Thank you so much, Doc.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers, good night. They do say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but here on Afternoon Express, we quite appreciate the medical advice. So if you have diabetes or taking care of someone with diabetes, please do connect with us on social media and let us know how you are championing it.
I'm so glad that doctor actually came through and busted all those myths about diabetes, because before it always used to be about either you're old or you eat too much sweets or this and that. It's so informative.
Yeah, I go for my diabetes like sugar test every year, and I make sure it's like under a certain amount. I can't remember what it is, but I make sure and to make sure that I'm healthy. But I like what she said, is just keep your social distance, wash your hands, look after yourself. Polly, you look after yourself. I know that.
But listen, girl, it's not easy. Taking care of yourself, holding yourself accountable to the different goals you might have and visions and ideas. Look, guys, that's why I had to reach out to you on social media and find out how are they doing? Are they leveled up with their goals? And we've got Basetsana here who used the hashtag Afternoon Express and said, I wanted to see myself wearing that graduation gown and this lockdown ruined it all. I wanted to pursue my dream in being a makeup artist and I couldn't get the chance to buy my materials and I feel stuck. Look, Basetsana, I think a lot of South Africans can identify with that feeling of frustration and feeling stuck, as if like I wanted to do this and achieve all these things, but now we find ourselves here. But Basetsana, I want to then challenge you to say, okay, you are where you are right now, so change it. Pick yourself up and keep going. Let us know how you're doing it. Don't you ladies agree?
I agree, fully.
And on that note, fitness always goes hand in hand with health. So coming up, we get a shaker of a workout from trainer to SA's top influencers, Anva Alexander. Ladies, let's get those workout gears ready. a Wellness Wednesday, and you already know what that means. Today, we're getting some fitness tips from fitness guru to most social media influencers, Anva Alexander, to help us keep fit, motivated, and healthy, most importantly. Welcome to The Loft, Anva.
Hi there, how are you doing?
I'm good. Now, you seem to be the man with the plan. I mean, it's cold here in South Africa, so we want to stay warm and keep fit along with you. But let me first start off with what motivated you to get into the personal fitness space and sports nutrition?
A lot of people don't notice about me, but at one stage, I was overweight myself also. So I had to undergo my own transformation myself. So while I was training and losing my weight and my physique was building up, a lot of people came up to me and asked me for advice. So I told myself, how can I make this official? So one day I met up with a personal trainer, asked him a few questions, he gave me the way forward, and I never looked back ever since then.
Oh, I kind of like that. You used yourself as a test dummy, and then now you've got the wealth of knowledge to be able to impart that on someone else and get them fit on the same track. So you now have promised to get us on that fitness journey along with you. So what exercises will you be teaching us today? And what are the terms for this high-intensity workout?
Okay, so today we're going to do a method of high intensity called Tabata. So Tabata is 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. So we're going to do a high intensity exercise that really gets your heart pumping, using big muscle groups also so we can further get your heart pumping and use up a lot of energy. And I've been doing it with a lot of my clients in lockdown, trying to keep that body fat low because you know we're all snacking at this time, okay? So we're ready to get dancing.
I'm ready to get moving. I want you to slowly break down each exercise. I know you've got 4 different exercises to go through with us. So please teach us them, and then hopefully our viewers will join side by side.
Okay, awesome. So like I said, each exercise you're going to be doing for 20 seconds with 10 seconds rest. So you're going to use that 10 seconds to move on to the next exercise. But we're going to be doing everything from a standing position, okay? So the first exercise to get the heart nice and pumping, we're going to be doing high knees for 20 seconds. So you're just going to lift your knees as high as you can to your chest. In that motion right there, okay? And then keep that going for 20 seconds. Get your heart pumping up. Yeah, keep it going. And relax. Okay, so our next exercise, we're going to be doing a squat with your hands behind your head. As you come up from the squat, you're going to bring your knee to your elbow, and then go into your squat again, and keep alternating the knees to your elbow. In this exercise, we're using a lot of our legs, and also our ab muscles, so there's a lot of energy being burned off doing this exercise. Okay? Make sure
Got
you
that.
stay nice and tight, and you keep your back nice and straight throughout the movement. Then our next movement, bit more high intensity. Using our leg muscles, we go onto our knees. Make sure you take a nice step forward, like you're doing a lunge, and then you get up, take it back down, change the legs, okay?
I know for myself, this was an exercise I was particularly concerned about. I was so nervous because my strength in the legs are almost none. So I want to find out from you at home, what muscle group is your strongest? Where do you want to feel the burn most? And what results do you want to see at the end of 2020?
You gotta keep them accountable for their goals.
Absolutely.
We're gonna squat down with our feet closed, touch your feet, and as you come out from the squat, move into a star jump. Down.
Okay, and Anva, I just want to make sure I'm doing this correctly here. Is this one fluid movement, or do I stop?
As you come out from the squat, jump into your star jump, and then down again. For those viewers that are just starting their fitness journey, you can just stick to a regular star jump. It's gonna be just as effective.
Ah, see? This is more like it, Anva. No, I'm just teasing. Today, it's all about challenging ourselves, pushing ourselves to the nth degree. So let me do it properly. Let me do it the same way Anva taught me.
That's it.
So you've already gone through the 4 exercises. Let's combine them. Let's put them together. Let's get some music going in the studio, and let's have everyone at home joining us. So we're going to start by doing the high knees. After high knees, we're going to do our squats to the knee. After doing squats to the knee, we're going to go down on our mats, and then, of course, doing that up, down movement. And then finally, my favorite, the star jump, because we're all superstars at home. Right? Everyone's got that. And everyone, I'm sure, has got the hashtag Afternoon Express. Sorry, South Africa, I'm out of breath. But thank you to Anva for teaching us these exercises time and time again. Are you ready, Anva?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat. 1, 2. Down on our knees. 1,
And down.
2. And now star jump.
And up.
Thank you so much, Anva. Finally, I feel like I'm well on my way to my fitness goals.
Great stuff. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Anva. Where can the people find you if they want to get some more tips on working out?
So just find me on my social media. My handle is @Alexander_PT. Ask me anything. I did reply to everybody. I'm whatever sucker for replying to messages.
And it's as easy as that, South Africa. If you also want more, you know Afternoon Express has always got the tea. So just head over to Afternoon Express's website, afternoonexpress.co.za, for more fitness dreams.
Polly is finished. Look at her. But let me tell you, he's very nice in the eyes. I think I will also exercise like her.
You guys should have told me that there's more dishes.
Anele. First of all, I'm telling on. I'm going to tell your husband that you say that. Anva, you heard it, my boy. From making me switch on Afternoon Express, never mind. Going back to social media, we have asked you, you know, fitness goals, fitness dreams. What have you said for yourself and have you achieved it? So we've got someone here talking about fitness and health. Uzibutelezi uthi, very much. I am much healthier and look more beautiful and radiant because I'm taking care of myself. Hashtag Afternoon Express. And that's what we're talking about. You know, that ripple effect that we keep seeing happening when people work out, they feel good, they look good. Ladies in the kitchen, how do we make sure our tummies feel good?
Well, you guys first should have told us that there's more dishes than just what we prepare, because I mean, Anva, hello. Anyway, today we're making a very healthy, warm quinoa salad that has spinach, broccoli, and everything good for you, actually. And it also is very diabetic friendly.
Yeah.
And on that note, South Africa, on social media, I also had someone asking me, you know, is the food that we're going to be preparing on the show today diabetic friendly? So that is your answer. And if you want to get cooking along with us, just head over to our Afternoon Express website. See you after these.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, South Africa. I feel so energized after that workout, and I feel like I've worked up an appetite. So it's time to make our salad. We're making a warm green quinoa salad. And to start it off, I'm going to be cooking the quinoa, but you're making one of the most important elements of our dish today, which is the paneer.
Yeah.
Can you just let us know what exactly is paneer?
Can I first tell you exactly how excited I am about this? Because I've just told the crew now, I'm going to take that in my bag and I'm going to run out here after the show. This is like crunchy, it's got green, it's got red, it's so healthy. It is just divine. But anyway, I can carry on forever about this beautiful salad of yours. I'm going to make paneer. And
yes.
Paneer is an Indian soft cheese.
Okay.
And you don't have to go to the shops to buy it. You can just quickly make it at home. It's got 2 ingredients. It's got this beautiful fresh milk from Clover. So I'm going to put 2 cups in here. 2 cups of the fresh milk, calcium. Lots of calcium, especially at my age.
Does it make a difference what kind of milk you would use? Like, for instance, low fat, medium fat, like we're using today?
Medium fat to full fat.
Okay.
Not low fat, because otherwise you're just going to get mini cheese, very little. So you're going to put that on the heat and let it come to a boil. And then the second ingredient is either vinegar, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, or 2 tablespoons of lemon juice.
Okay.
And that's going to allow the cheese to split. So you've got the curd and the whey. In Afrikaans praat hulle van wrongel en whey.
Ja.
Ja, wrongel en whey. So that is the cheese. And then we're going to strain it. I'm going to press it. And we're going to get our little cheese out of that. But now
That's
you can carry on. Yeah.
Interesting. So that's something that's very interesting for the viewers, because they can make this at home.
You can make this at home easy, easy peasy.
And you can make it ahead.
Yes, and you can keep it in your fridge for about 6 weeks or in the freezer for 6 months.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned before, I've started with the quinoa, which is the base of our salad. And then we've got all these other elements that go into our salad. And one of the other things is the dressing. So I'm going to get started with the dressing here. And I'm going to get ready with that. So to start it off, we've also got some lemon juice. It is that time of the year, so vitamin C, very important. I've got some olive oil over here. And then I've also got some spinach. We're keeping with the theme because we're saying it's a green salad. So even our dressing is going to be nice and green. And this spinach that I've got in here is just blanched. So I basically boil some water for and then put the spinach in there for literally a minute, because we want to retain the greenness of it. We don't want it to be so overcooked where you lose that color.
That nutrition.
Exactly.
Gosh, I've tasted your dressing and it's divine. I love it.
Thank you, thank you.
Alles het saamgetrek.
If you also want to react like this as South Africa, please head on over to our website, get the details, and get yourself this tasty recipe. Let me just get all this olive oil.
So there's olive oil in, there's lemon juice in, there's spinach inside there, and now it's a bit of salt and pepper probably.
And I've also added some sweetness, which is the honey. And that's
okay.
basically to, take it up a notch.
Yes.
And I'm going to blend this all in our NutriBullet and make sure it's nice and runny. If you like it chunky, it's completely up to you. You're more than welcome to do that. But I like mine nice and clean.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let it run.
Did you hear what I said?
And that's it. Our dressing is done. All the flavors are mixed together. Our quinoa is cooking over there. How's your paneer looking over?
I'm still waiting for the milk to get hot because it needs to come to boiling point. So you carry on, sister.
Awesome. So the other ingredients of our salad, we've got some spinach, we've got some broccoli that's not cooked. I've left it nice and raw for the crunchiness as well. We've got some toasted walnuts. We've got some cranberries and the paneer that you're making for us today. So the one thing I love about this recipe is that it's on the healthier side. And we're talking about diabetes today. We're being very alert. All these ingredients here actually help with that. Quinoa on its own contains a nutrient called manganese, which is actually great because it helps with the balancing of your blood sugar. So regulating rather of your blood sugar, as well as the green foods. Those are great for you, especially if you're fighting diabetes. This is great. So all these elements put together, that's like a bomb.
Yeah, what I like about quinoa Sorry, Tooms, is that it's also when you eat it, it's sustainable. The energy levels are long, so that also helps with diabetes. You know, the energy is for a long time.
Correct, because it contains a lot of fiber and a lot
Yeah.
of protein, so it keeps you fuller for longer. If you would like to use a different grain, you're more than welcome to, but I would advise to keep it on the healthier side as well. So maybe brown rice if you want to replace it.
I would love wheat.
Bulgur wheat as well is great. So now that this is cooking, I've actually got a batch of quinoa that's cooked earlier that we're going to use here. But let me just quickly check.
It's also so easy to cook.
It's very simple.
Yeah,
Very quick.
yeah.
Like quinoa on its own literally takes about 20 minutes.
Yes.
You put it into the water cold
Yeah.
and just bring it to a boil and then let it simmer. It's going to simmer for about 20 minutes, and then once it's cooked down, some people choose to rinse it, some people don't. I like to rinse it because since we're having a salad, I like to keep it cold. If you want to leave it not rinsed, it's completely up to you. You don't lose any of the nutrients at all. But there is a nice nutty flavor that if you do rinse, that might go away, but not a lot of it. But anyway, like I mentioned, I've got some that we made earlier, so I want to quickly assemble this salad here so the people can see. It's a very simple salad. We've got our quinoa going in there. And then we're going to go in with some spinach.
What I like about it, you can put anything. I would put green beans in there. I will put tomatoes in there. You can put everything that's in your fridge or what you like as a person you can put in there.
Correct.
And I love the textures. There's crunchy, there's sweet, there's sour. It's like all coming together. I can't wait to taste
all the tasty elements in a dish that you want. You've got it all here in one salad. And it's a perfect salad because most people think you can't have salads in winter. This is definitely one to have all year round.
While you're going there, I just want to show the viewers, my milk has come to a boiling point now.
Okay.
And now I'm going to use vinegar because that's the cheapest and everybody's got some. I'm going to put like 2 tablespoons in here. And immediately, I'm just going to put the heat off. Immediately, you can see it starts splitting. Immediately. So when it's split like this, you take a cheesecloth, but you can use a clean house towel as well. You know, a faduka is a kitchen towel as well. And you put it in there and then you throw this, because you can see that it's split now. You throw this in here. It doesn't look very good when you look at it like that, but the results are just creamy and delicious. And now you just pick it up and you can see all the water. And these water, you know, the farmers don't throw this water away. They actually give it to their cattle because it's very nutritious. So there's our little bit of cheese. It's very hot now. But what I do then is you squeeze it baie goed uit and you let it hang like that overnight if you want to.
Okay.
And you can put something heavy on it as well, so all the water is squeezed out. And I've made a small baby one early on.
That looks divine. And now we're just going to go in with our dressing, and that is our tasty, warm, green quinoa salad. Healthy, delicious, and diabetic friendly.
Pali, come and look at this. Doesn't this look stunning?
This looks so good, ladies, and it looks so healthy too. I'm so glad you guys kept in mind that we're keeping things diabetic friendly in the kitchen, and you've whipped this up. Beautiful. Mwah.
Delicious.
Very quick, very easy, very delicious.
Very delicious indeed. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and contributing to social media and our conversation throughout the entire show. We really do appreciate it. Tomorrow, however, it is a Fashion Express Thursday, so I'm looking forward to it. We put together a panel of heavyweight South Africans in the fashion industry, so I'm excited to see it. But for now, good night, stay safe, and happy eating, Mzansi.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover. Afternoon Express. Made with love by Clover.
Nada. Feel Good production.